Noreen, where do you think the country is at the moment
Oh God.
as a nation?
It's on its knees. It's going nowhere. That's my honest opinion of it. And like I said to my son, as soon as you can, get the hell out back to New Zealand again.
Your son's in New Zealand, is he?
Well, he is, and he's been home now because they're having a little baby girl, so he's come home for the birth, and then they're going back to New Zealand in January for good, to the best of my knowledge.
And how does that make you feel that he has to live in New Zealand?
Angry, because when I was young I had to live here as well. We took up, but we only went to England. But I have sisters that died there and never came back, so I suppose, and I was the only one that stayed at home. I always come back to my mother. So, but life was simpler years ago. My mother done all her own stuff. The kids today just look at computers or all sorts of other things, and they're preoccupied with that. They're not able to think for themselves, you know. Whereas years ago, people done the cooking, they sowed their own gardens, whitewashed their own houses. Everything was done home baked and everything. They were self, you know, they could do their own things. Like.
How long were you away in England?
Oh God, I was always coming back. I was the only one that kept coming back, but I always kept coming to the corner from my mother, and she used to always say, you just went over to see Big Ben. You know, that was all. And every time she'd look, used to hear Noreen come in the corner again, a case and no money, nothing in it. My last penny I give to the taxi one, pretending I was loaded, tried the penny. And but I always loved to be at home. You know, I'm the only one.
Why do you love Ireland?
Because I think it's who we are, and it's the only. I just love it because it's part of me. It's exactly who I am. I couldn't be happy anywhere else. No, my mother used to always say, if you're only sitting on a stone with a roof over your head, and where you should be is in your own home, you know, or your own country, or speak your own language. And I've always felt that. I never felt the need to kind of. I go over to see my sister, but I always felt the need to come home.
Why do you think the country is on its knees?
Because I think the people are foolish and they're not standing up to the government. I just think they should get up and walk up there and say no more, you know. It's on its knees. If someone keeps slapping the face and you keep turning the other cheek for another belt, it'll keep happening.
Why don't people stand up, do you think?
I just think, I don't know where they got the fighting Irish from. I think it's some lunatic that was up in the mountain drinking poachine, to be quite honest with you, because the Irish can't fight for nothing. They don't do anything. Look at the Greeks out there in Portugal, the whole lot, they're all fighting for their rights. Here, they're just turning the other cheek, and we're being robbed more and more, and I just think we're being told lies, like, you know, and I just think we need to get up there and say no.
And are you prepared to protest?
Oh yes, I would. I'd go up to the door if I could get someone coming with me. I would.
So what's needed? Do you think somebody needs to just organise the thing?
Exactly, we need the people to organise something so we can start marching up there. Isn't that how Ireland was always taken? It was always divided. That's why they never could hold themselves. The last one was King Brian here, my own descendant.
Brian Brew.
Yes, I'm O'Brien, my grandmother. So that was the last, and apart from that, nobody else ever joined up with anything.
What kind of country would you like to see?
I'll tell you now. A country where where everybody is one, a country where you're not in a TD, where you're elected by the people, not because of who your father was or your grandfather or whatever. Fresh people that are ordinary Joe Soaps that put themselves, their parents put them through college, so they could become TDs because they know what you and me, how we work and how we do things. But these people are in the Dáil now don't know. It's handed down to them from generation to generation. God knows their degrees were probably bought from even they haven't a clue.
And in the dark times of life when people are suffering or struggling, or maybe going through depression, or they don't see any hope, where do you think hope can come from?
From your ordinary Joe Soap, from the people, from the local people, giving hope to the local people, and it starts from there and it generates. It has to start somewhere, and it starts in places like this place here.
Tell me about this place.
Well, I love it. When I came in here, I was very shy. I couldn't talk to anyone.
This is the Family Resource Centre in Killaloe,
and I've learned to talk, to write, to do a bit of cooking. I've learned to work the computer and to do the money, you know, add up a couple of bucks. I couldn't even do that. I mean, I was working at 14 years of age, you know, so I didn't do the primary, didn't do anything, you know. So it's great that I actually get the chance to do that now, and I think this is where the people need to grow from your ordinary Joe Soap to go out to the people. I think so anyway, because I think that's where we're all going to go back at the end of the tether, so we may as well start now.
Thank you.
Have I finished?